Hello.
Good morning, it's Janie.
Yeah, hi.
How are you?
Hello.
Hi, how are you?
Fine. Horst, I have a problem with my furnace, but anyway, when are you coming here?
I'm coming to New York on,
No, not to New York. I'm asking who he wants to know.
Oh, I told him on Tuesday. Tuesday around noon o'clock. Is that a good time for him?
I don't know. Janie would like to come tomorrow about noon. Okay, so because you know there's some... Okay.
Okay, good.
Hello?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Uh-huh. So you feel like talking a little bit?
About what?
Oh, remember we were talking yesterday and I had to cut off the phone.
Yeah, I know, but I just don't know if I can, and I'm frozen stiff with it.
They didn't put the heat on?
Yeah, the heat. Oh, let me see, let me change phone, let me see if I can. It all
Okay.
depends. 1 minute.
Okay. Today, what's the date? January 17th, 1994.
Yes, so...
Hi.
Hello?
Yeah.
Yes.
Is the other phone off the hook too?
No, I don't know. I'm going to go and see. So?
So, yesterday you were telling me something that was new to me.
Just your words of saying.
Yesterday you were telling me something that I hadn't known, which was that grandmother didn't work that much, only for a short time.
I never said anything of the kind, Janie.
Oh, so she had a shop for only a short time.
Store for a while, and then she didn't have a store after that.
Well, what did she do when she didn't have...
remember. She probably was home.
Uh-huh.
I don't know. She had a store, and then she didn't have a store. And then we moved to Boulevard Poissonnière, and that's where the Maguet came in. And I don't remember if Mother was working or not.
Were you married at the time? When Maguet started?
Yeah, I guess so.
Uh-huh. So
Yes, I was.
So Sioma and Lazare were working Maguet Trigère, or Trigère Maguet, and Maguet was the person that you bought the business from, so he didn't exist anymore.
Jenny, I really don't remember. It's so unimportant. Maguet was a name. Sioma was working there for 6 months, and then I guess we got the thing, and I think Lazare was working. I don't remember if my father was working there.
Uh-huh.
I don't remember that either, but...
But you weren't working there.
Who?
You.
No.
You had babies then?
No.
Oh. So what were you doing with your time?
I don't remember.
Mm-hmm.
I really don't remember.
So yesterday you said they were probably designing things like schmatas.
What?
Yesterday you said, oh, who knows what they were designing schmatas.
Who?
What were they designing there? What would Trigère Maguet? What were they making?
Were making clothes. Sioma was on the road, and I guess I don't really remember, frankly. I think Lazare was doing some coats and suits, and he was selling them on the road.
So when you came to America with Grand-Mère...
What?
When you came to America, your father had died at age 62, you said, on the street of a heart attack?
No, he did not have a heart attack. He had a stroke.
A stroke. And so a few years later, was it, you came to America?
Oh, I came in America in 1936, Christmas. I always say 37.
Uh-huh.
Because that's when we said, but we really came here on the 26th or the 27th of December, 1936.
Uh-huh. You came first... You came first straight to America to visit cousins because you were on your way down to South America, right? Yeah? So what happened? How come you didn't continue that trip?
Oh, I'm not going to go into this because that's too long a story. That
Okay.
I told at least 50,000.
Okay, you're right. I don't need that
so
part.
One day you'll know it too because you
Okay.
heard that story 50,000 times.
Okay, so let's go further.
Excuse me. When we were on a bus and we did Fifth Avenue back and forth, the three of us, and that's it. And I decided I really didn't like very much to go to.
Tape got caught in the reel, and conversation is no longer recorded. Not much more went on. A discussion about her wedding dress, which she said she would show me a picture of. How did you know he never paid for the thing?
No, I didn't say he never paid for that. I know that he paid the first installment. He always paid. After that, I don't know. Because the bills came up. I don't know.
In terms of running a business, this is a little awkward.
That's right. That's why my business is what it is today.
Well, yesterday you were telling me over the telephone. You were telling me je suis la plus conne du monde.
I am. Because I had a brother.
I should have had somebody to do
I had
it.
a brother.
Not my brother and not my son.
That's right. I had a brother who adored me. My son, I'm sure he loves me. I don't know if he adores me. But they had no experience, no desire, no knowledge. I don't know what other word I can use. In doing something with my name. Some people take the word shit, S-H-I-T, and make, I don't know what with it, spinach or something. These two guys named beautiful thing and made shit out of it because they never did anything. Not that they didn't work for me, but they didn't need anything right for me. But that's another story, so we're not going to go into this. Because if I had the proper backer, I don't mean backer, the backer is the wrong no, supporter, not manager. I would have been probably one of the richest women in America, which I'm not. Because my name, my talent, my knowledge, my abilities should be, and I say that with no bitterness and no animosity. I say it because of a truthfulness.
Well, let me ask you something. Why?
They should have done it, but they didn't. And I was stupid not to demand it.
Okay. So let's say each did the best they could. Let's say that everybody did the best they could. Let's say that nobody did anything maliciously.
They didn't do anything malicious, but they didn't do anything forwards.
Okay. How come at some point you didn't split up?
Because I'm a schmuck. I told you that yesterday. Because it was my brother and because it's my son. That's it.
I know, and I know that I sensed it, I felt it, I've heard people discuss it, that way back in the 50s already, you and Sioma were fighting and arguing about how things should be.
About what?
Business.
I don't think he understood the business of America. I don't think he did. Because if he did, he would have just either let it go to somebody else or what, I don't know. I don't think he understood it. I'm not reproaching him. I think it was something that was completely out of his scope. He didn't understand that you have to do that, but Mr. So-and-so has to do this. And Mr. So-and-so should have been found or discovered or hired by the Trigère company. Forget that. We're too late for this, but that's what I think that's happened.
Mm-hmm. So you think that when he split up from you in the 70s...
No, that has nothing to do with it.
But
when he split up with me, he split up because he was married to a younger woman and he wanted to do for her what he think he did for me. But it wasn't the same challenge, it wasn't the same talent. Good is a wonderful, wonderful, nice lady who had nothing to do with this kind of business. She should have been something else. So when he decided to open that shop
in Los Angeles at the wrong time, the wrong place, the wrong everything. He lost $150,000, which he got from me, and after that I kept paying and paying and paying. That still bothers me, because that money should have been with us to produce more. When he decided to take that shop on Rodeo, good had nothing to do with it. He did it. I don't know, he told her, she said, okay, fine. That was the wrong move all around. He didn't know. Huh?
I agree.
It was all, you know, and I'm not, now you're talking, so I'm talking and I'm telling you it's a wrong move all around. He didn't know. I gave him money, half of the share of Trigère, which I never could recuperate after that. And then, when they owed me so much money, I let it go. That was the first big money I lost in the Trigère Inc., my business. Because they couldn't pay me, and
what were they paying you? Who was paying?
They were buying stuff and this and that and this, and it didn't work. So I lost my first money there. The store was beautiful. Neither of them knew anything about that kind of business. They didn't know. Mm-hmm. I don't know, maybe I'm more savvy than both of them were at that time. We certainly not have opened that business on Rodeo, the most extraordinary street in the world, besides Madison. So what did they do with it? They flunked it, okay? It has nothing to do with me. It has something to do with the wrong. I really did flunk my business. The business is a difficult thing to control. It was a difficult thing. The last few years has been very difficult. I did not have somebody with a push, with a drive, with a, you know. So, but then people owed me a lot.
What did you imagine would happen when Jean-Pierre joined?
Pardon me?
What did you imagine? Didn't you bring Jean-Pierre in with the hope that he would be that person?
I thought so, but he's not. But he's not interested. So I was wrong twice.
When you figured out that he was not the person, couldn't you have brought in another person to do that job?
Probably I should have. I didn't.
Can you tell me anything in terms of personality and memories about Alexandre?
Who?
Your father.
My father was a very nice, uneducated man who really knew very little about. He used to play pinochle or something on Saturday night, either one Saturday in our house or Saturday in my Tante Rose's house. He was a very nice man, no education. I don't think he had any ambition because I don't know why he escaped the Russian. I cannot tell you very much about him. He was a nice tailor, that's all. He didn't have very much to say about anything.
Was he a loving kind of person?
Very much so.
Did he used to talk a lot, or was he quiet?
No, I was a young kid and I went to the French lycée. I mean, he never even learned to read and write. So here is a daughter who goes to the French lycée. First the lycée Jules Ferry, then to the lycée Jules, you know. I don't think he even understood the words. And his son went to the lycée Victor Hugo. I mean, you know, that was way above his shoulders.
Is it that he didn't read and write in French, or he didn't read and write at all?
He didn't write and read any place.
Oh.
My mother did. Then she learned. I found a Christmas card, not a gift on a birthday card she wrote me, which is wonderful. If I can find it, I'll show you.
So she seemed to have come from a more educated stock than he did?
I don't know about that, but she learned faster than he did.
Well, she wrote in Russian. She wrote and read in Russian.
I guess so.
Yeah. And so she learned French, and then I remember getting letters from her in English. They were difficult. They were not well spelled, but they
French,
were...
I think they were not great, but they were written. She tried.
So how did he run a business without being able to read and write?
Who?
Alexandre.
He never ran a business. What kind of a business did he run? He was a contractor for the Galerie Lafayette. And boy, he didn't have to run a business. People gave him things to cut, he cut them and delivered them. He didn't have to run a business.
So your mother had a business for a short while?
After.
After he died?
No, before that. I don't remember the dates, you know.
Why do you suppose she started the business, and why do you suppose she stopped it?
I have no idea.
No idea. So he was a quiet and loving man.
So was she.
She was quiet? Is she a quiet person? How did you get to be so noisy?
The Americans, I have to stop because I have, you know.
You mean you became noisy in America?
I don't remember. I was so young when I came here. What difference does that make? I don't remember. I was very young when I came here.
You think your personality was really made here?
Absolutely. Right here. I didn't have any in France. Nothing.
You told me once that you got sick when you were sick when Philippe was born. What did you have?
What did I have?
Yeah.
I had nothing. I had the famous malady that women have when they give birth to the children. In those days, they all died. Everybody died of it.
Fever?
Purple
fever, yeah.
Well, I was lucky. I didn't die from that.
But they sent you off to a sanitarium, you told me?
No, I was there I was in New York.
No.
Philippe was born 14th of March. At the end of April,
Went to Switzerland?
I went to Switzerland. To Professor Rocha he's the one who told Sophia Loren, who taught Sophia Loren, who keep her two children after she had miscarriage. So they put me to bed for 6 months.
With the baby you went?
Yeah, and Jean-Pierre.
And Jean-Pierre went with you too?
Sure. He was a small boy.
For 6 months you went to Switzerland?
And I was in bed for 4.
So who was taking care of Jean-Pierre?
Nurses and things.
What a strange thing. Was this a common occurrence for women?
Mm-mm.
Was this an expensive deal?
I suppose so. I don't know. I don't remember. Wasn't that expensive that we couldn't afford it because...
But shortly thereafter, you came to America. Philip was very little.
Well, Philip was a year old on March 14, 1936. And we left France
6 months later.
December something, 1936.
Did you go through London, through England?
No.
Did you go?
Went from from Le Havre to New York. Why London? What for?
I had remembered something about cousins of...
I don't have anybody in London. We don't have any cousin here. In London?
Radley.
Huh?
Radley, Razinski.
No. Nobody in London that I know of. I don't know anybody in London. We had no family in London. We came from Le Havre here. And then we came 2 days later because the Normandy couldn't take it was a terrible storm that year.
When Sioma was traveling all over France, selling clothes either for the people he worked for or afterwards for Trigère Maguet, did he used to write letters? Did he used to communicate?
I don't remember. I don't think so.
He always used to say, we started the business, I started the business, he used to talk, in France. Do you feel that that's a misrepresentation?
No, because when you are, I don't think so. When you are a tailor and you do the clothes, you can sit them and do the clothes. So what? So you can accumulate them. Somebody has to do something with them. So Sioma is the one who really took whatever Lazare did and sold them here, there, Lyon, Marseille, and whatever. So he knew all those people. When we did Trigère Maquet, Lazare was designing and Sherman was selling. If you don't sell, whatever you do, it could be gold, it could be studded something. If you don't sell it, what does it mean? Nothing. Okay, so...
I think in his mind he saw that as the beginning of the business that became...
I guess so.
Do you think that's a misrepresentation?
No, I don't think so.
So it's legitimate?
Yeah.
The business started in France?
No, it did not start in France, per se. His idea started in France, not the business.
I had the impression he really felt like he had...
Or maybe he
the
did.
business idea was something that was begun in France, not when you were here.
In that case, he should never have left France, he should have stayed there and not come to Chile, because what did he know about Chile? That's not exactly... Why was he so...
Chile was
Why was he so enthusiastic about... I mean, here is a Frenchman, almost, born in Russia, who all of a sudden has to go to Chile for what?
Yeah, that's a good question.
Well, he didn't know the language, he didn't know anything.
But he was willing to do it.
He must have had something in his mind, because honestly, what drug is there? What drug is there?
It was Lazare. Didn't Lazare go there?
Okay, so he went there with Lazare, but
So
it
he
has...
must have trusted Lazare.
Huh?
He trusted Lazare.
Probably. 92.
42 to 50.
No, Jean-Pierre is 60. I don't know, he was born in 1932.
You want to know how old he is now?
62?
Yeah, 63.
Huh?
64.
64. Okay, so then he was 17 or 16 when he made that bar mitzvah. 15?
Oh.
What year was that?
15, I'm going to say. 1947.
Yeah. I was already in my... So 46 maybe. I was in my business. Lazare was in his business. That's why we were not together.
When we came back from Argentina, my mother decided she was religious.
She was what?
She became religious. She took me to church, and she started having lessons given to me. And Lainey too. Lainey was 6 years older than I was. And we were confirmed in this church. And I remember I came to you, we made a little dress for me. And Sioma went out there for this ceremony. Did he ever tell you about it? Afterwards, I used to think,
maybe
this must have been very painful for him.
I know, because I'm telling you, no, I don't know. Anyway, so I don't remember that either. I mean, maybe... I remember... Is it on or off?
Yeah, it's on.
Huh?
On.
Off.
When you were talking about the bar mitzvah, I wanted to get
Off.
that. Off.
I don't know very much about your mother, really. I don't.
You obviously didn't get along. I can't imagine the two of you
Get
getting
along? We never had any dealings together.
Did
What do you mean by getting along?
You mean once they were married, she was up here, you were down there, and you never saw each other?
Very little. We never had... Why? We never had any... We never had very much...
Within almost no time at all.
Huh?
Within a very short amount of time, they were split up.
Who? That's right.
Very quickly.
Yeah. And then he sent her to Paris.
Why was that? What kind of idea was that?
I think it was cheaper. And then there, I know that in the south of France, she really slept around with everybody. Was her. You know who told me? Vava Kaufman. Michel's brother.
Ah, yes.
She
You
had an
probably
affair.
slept with him.
Oh, that he told me, definitely. I slept with him too, but I mean, that wasn't a very happy experience. He slept with her too, and they were, you know, and he liked her, and so on and so forth. But anyway, she really had experiences there that we didn't have here. Why did he send? I don't know why he sent her to France. Why? Maybe it was...
Some people said, oh, he wanted... Because the letters I have between them, I have letters from that period, a lot of letters. And letters that he would write to her parents, and letters she wrote to her parents, and letters her father wrote to her, and letters her father wrote to Sioma. All sorts of letters back and forth of this
About
period.
separation?
About everything that was going on. She wanted to get divorced from Sioma, and she couldn't stand his demands, and nothing she did was right, and the house was never clean, and he was very demanding, and all sorts of things that I don't think they don't surprise me particularly. Of course, she doesn't discuss everything, obviously, only the things that sounded right to tell her father. And someplace in all of this correspondence was the idea that by sending her to France, she would become more European and understand him better.
Maybe.
And want to come back to him.
Maybe. They were not divorced when you sent her with you. And the two kids too.
Yeah. Now, in these letters, she's thinking about how to get divorced, how much money she can get from him, all these letters. I have all of this stuff. And she obviously comes back for a very quick divorce someplace like Florida or some funny place like that. And in October 51, she's married to Ed Morrow in the Premier Arrondissement.
The second time?
Yeah. So if they go over when I'm 17 months old, is what I hear. I don't know what, let me see, 17 months. In the fall of, or the summer of 1950, within exactly a year, she's gotten a divorce and remarried.
How old were you, 2.5?
No, 1.5.
No.
One and something.
Can be. So young?
When I went to France, yes.
They were not divorced, they were separated.
Right. So she gets very quickly, it all happens fairly quickly. They get the divorce, she remarries Ed Morrow, and off they go to Argentina, and I'm sent to my father with Marie-Louise for a visit. My father sent them to France, and the next thing he knows, his child is going off to South America. It must have been very painful.
Yeah, but she was a manipulating sort.
But what did
Sioma was too stupid in that way. I think she was manipulating. She married, I think that maybe she was in love with him, maybe, but I think it was an opportunity. I don't know. I don't want to judge your mother. I think that she really married Robert Trigère because she thought it was an opportunity to get up in the world, money-wise, I suppose, not to become a career woman. I'm saying that today because I think
you're right. I think you're right.
She wanted to become something. Now, money didn't have, but she was still married to Pauline Trigère. We were up in, what year was that when they got married? What years?
47. 47.
47. And I had my first Gautier award in 49. So I was really up and coming, and I don't know, maybe this has an influence on her life, on her idea, maybe not on her life, saying, oh, here I'm coming into a family where it's going to be very important. He's
well
going to
cared for. She was a woman alone with 2 children and no real
3.
income. 2.
Yeah. Okay, so maybe...
So Andy tells me that there was a man in her life. She was divorced from Ed Morrow. There's a man that he liked very much. He was tall, handsome. He had... He played ball. He was a younger man. And he wanted his mother to marry that man. And he was very upset, he says. He was just telling me recently. He remembers being upset because mother had decided that she would marry Sioma. And she was explaining to this 6-year-old boy why this was going to be better for us.
She said,
and he was an older man with a long black coat and a Homburg hat, and he was an old man. And she said, we're going to have a better life than if I married this other person. And I'm doing it because it's going to be better for us.
No, I know. I remember I was on 57th Street on I was in that street where Margie lived, where my mother lived, Central Park South. I remember exactly between 5th and 6th Avenue. And my brother told me, I said, why are you getting married to this one with 2 children? Because she loves me. I said, I never heard any reasons like this. Why don't you tell me that you love her? Then I will understand that. Oh, he said, I do that too, but he never said that first. And this is the first thing. I don't know. Anyway, she really pushed him and forced him, which was easy with my brother to do so. Where I, as his partner, never did that. I should have said, Sherma, go and get somebody to do the thing that you can do and I can't do. I never did because I didn't know. I'm talking business-wise because as his love for me and his devotion has been proved many, many times until he was engaged to this one and in love with that one and the other man, all those models were transferring until Good came along, was stuck by him. I mean, you had to really do that because he was flaky in a way in his relationship with women. He really was, you know, when I think about it. I mean, there's so many, I can't remember their names. But Good stood by him, luckily, and loved him and so on, so that was okay. But actually, my brother, I think, loved one person more than anybody in this life. It was me. I hate to say that because I don't like to bring up a very phony, peculiar, strange, unhealthy relationship. There was never anything like this. But when I think about it, that's what it was.
I think
I mean,
true.
all the women in France were nuts when he was pregnant. That girl who, nobody knows that story, wanted to kiss, she was pregnant. She really took a hanger and, you know, did what the women do in France.
They did it here too.
They do their, and she took some pills, okay. Wasn't the first one. What's her name, the other one?
The one I mentioned before?
Yeah, but she didn't kill
Donna
him.
Lippman?
No. Donna
Lippman?
didn't kill herself for that.
She killed herself?
She did.
Oh, I don't know.
Donna?
I don't know who she is.
Donna killed her because she discovered from a doctor that she had a brain tumor. And the most she would have to live would be 6 months.
Who is she?
She was a woman who was very much in love with her. So was the other one. Did you interview her? What's her name?
Simon.
Did you interview? What'd she say?
After I close this.
Well, Donna was very much in love with Sherma, but has nothing to do with that. That was past.
Was she in the dress industry too?
No way. I don't know where, I forgot where I met her. She put a plastic bag and took some pills and went to sleep.
She was a young woman?
50 maybe.
That's unusual. He tends to like younger women.
52, 55. Not too young, not too old.
But he did tend to prefer younger women.
Who?
Sioma.
He did?
You tell me.
I wouldn't know.
You mean some of his friends were women his own age?
We're going back so many years. I don't know. Good is not his own age.
Neither was my mother.
Oh, right, so then.
Neither was Jackie.
No.
So I'm asking, were there women who he went with?
So what about Jackie? What'd she say? She was maybe...
Je fais ça.
Huh?
When I close this.
Close it.
He wanted you. He told me. He said, Pauline is angry at me because I broke up a relationship with them when they were young. Something like that. No, or Lyova told me this. No. Why did he bring Lyova to you? He was bringing him to you.
Lyova was in love with me since I was 13, Janie. You can't help that. He was really in love with me. Married, when he came to America, he said to me, you know, you're the only one for me. So I'm listening. I'm married, I'm divorced, I've got big children. But in between, we had a relation. When I went back to Paris in 19-something or other, I forgot. Lyova came back from China. I don't remember the year. It must have been 47, 50, 52, something like that. Because I didn't go back to Paris, really. 47.
47, you went back to Paris.
Yeah. So I met Lyova, and he started a romance with me, like a hot romance. But he was on cocaine, and he was unreliable, fabulous guy. And then all of a sudden he was in this crazy thing with the drugs. Well, that passed out too. I mean, I know he was always in love with me for many, many, many years. Then Sherma brought him here, and I have letters from Lyova that are fabulous. That was a writer. I have some of that. Where, you know.
Did he ever marry, have children?
Oh, sure. He slept with everybody around. He's the one who told me that Sherma was the...
Why would he know that?
Huh?
Why would he know that about you?
From girls, I suppose. I don't know. Yeah, anyway, but Lyova, that's another story. He's dead now. poor, a guy who had everything, until he went back to, when he went to Hong Kong, Japan. He was sent to China by the French railroad people. I forgot the name of those. Big job, but he stayed there a long time. Anyway, they were very old friends, but forget about him, I don't know.
Why did he end up in Israel?
I don't know. I wonder if his sister, I don't know.
He has a sister?
Huh?
He has a sister?
Two he had. Two glorious sisters. One was married to a very, very fabulous French anti-Semite, very rich. And the other one was an actress at the Comédie Française. She's still alive. She must be 98 or 103. Who had a theater.
Is one of them Genia?
Genia was Vera. Genia is dead a long time. And Vera must be still alive.
With the name Koretsky?
Koren, Vera Koren.
That's Vera Koren?
And Genia Koretsky, but her last name was... She was beautiful. Genia was a pianist. She was beautiful. The sister was not. And Papa and Mama were friends from my father and mother from Odessa or someplace. So we go way back, and Lyova and Sioma were at school at the Collège Chaptal together. So they were together.
What did Coigny, the Coigny family, have to do with all of this?
Nothing.
They were around then?
No. Coigny was a furrier from out of Odessa. And they knew each other playing poker or whatever on Saturday night.
The parents?
He called me. I forgot to call him back.
I'm seeing him tomorrow.
Quingy is the name.
Quingy?
He made a Coigny here, but his name was Quingy.
Uh-huh.
I'm going to make some tea for myself.